Jeff Bezos dropped $68 million on a new property. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are in a bit of trouble with a mansion that they bought a few years ago in Montecito. And the spaceship-shaped home that Kim Kardashian is trying to build in Palm Springs has faced a major roadblock. It's one of those days. Today, let's dive into the best real estate headlines that have come out the past couple of weeks. Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry bought a mansion back in 2020. Apparently a mansion that they were really excited about. But here we are 3 years later, and they're about to go to trial because the guy they bought the house from is stating that when he signed all of the paperwork, he was on a bunch of pain medication and mentally was not of a sound mind to sign legal documents. The seller was a guy named Carl Westcott. He's 83 years old today, and he's quite sick from what I understand. He previously had served in the U.S. Army, and he also had a lot of success as an entrepreneur. One of his claims to fame is 1-800-Flowers. But anyways, Westcott bought the mansion in Montecito in May of 2020. Records say that he paid $11.25 million for the place. It's a really nice 8-bedroom, 11-bathroom house with over 9,000 square feet of space. The home's very private with a huge yard. Inside, it has a ton of intricate stone and woodwork throughout. There's plenty of sliders that bring the outside in. Speaking of outside, it has a really lush landscaping package. The kitchen is decked out with double islands and I think just about every appliance that you can get. The primary bedroom is massive, and it even has a guest house, a gym, a wine cellar, and of course an outdoor kitchen. Cool spot, right? But here's the thing. Just 2 months after Westcott bought this place, he was approached by Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. They said they loved the house so much that they were willing to pay him an extra $2 million over what he paid for it. Their offer at the time, as far as I read, was $14.2 million bucks. Initially, Westcott was stoked about this. He accepted the offer and signed the deal. But the story goes that he had just undergone a 6-hour back surgery and he was on a bunch of opiates at the time to numb the pain. So now his lawyers are claiming that the purchase contract to sell the house to Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom is voidable because of Westcott's mental state at the time that he signed the deal. A week after the contract was signed, Westcott said he started to feel mentally clear again after those drugs wore off, and he sent a letter to the realtors saying he didn't want to sell his house anymore. I had heard of this whole concept before, but to be honest, I don't really know much about the legality here. According to Google, if somebody that has been declared mentally incompetent tries to go into a contract on his or her own, the contract is considered void. It'll be interesting to see if he does have a case and Westcott is able to take his house back from Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. The trial is set for later this month. The CEO of Masterworks, Scott Lynn, just landed a smoking deal on a penthouse in Manhattan. His new home is at the top floor of the 60-story Woolworth building. This is a historic skyscraper built back in 1913 in the Tribeca neighborhood. Scott's new place is actually located within this copper-clad peak. How cool is that? What's crazy is that they've been trying to sell this penthouse for years. It was originally asking $110 million, but they've had several price cuts before now finally selling for just $30 million bucks. After a little bit of digging, it became very obvious why this place was such a hard sell. Here's a rendering perspective of the apartment. You can see that it's got high ceilings and a nice big open space. Here is another rendering. You can see this spiral staircase that connects the floors. Then here's another perspective. This one you can tell we're near the top of the unit as it kind of tapers in. And then last, check this out. You can actually see that this unit is broken up into 5 or maybe even 6 total floors as it gets up to the building's peak. But you might be wondering, why are we looking at renderings for a unit that's located in a building that was built 100 years ago? Well, that's because back in 2012, a developer bought the top 30 floors in this office building and converted them from office to condos. He ended up leaving this penthouse unit as an empty shell space though for the buyer to basically do with it whatever they want. So that's the catch. Lynn is going to need to spend tens of millions of dollars more to get this apartment actually livable, but I still think that he got a bargain of a price for this penthouse. Kim Kardashian has been in the process of trying to build a spaceship-shaped home in Palm Springs, but this whole project has just come to a screeching halt. Kim has been working with the architect Tadao Ando on this very one-of-a-kind home. She first broke the news about it on her Instagram page just a couple of months ago, where she said that she met with the master himself to review and discuss a dream project that they've been working on for the past 2 years. She actually went all the way out to his office in Japan to make some finishing touches to the design. The lot for this house is located in the city of La Quinta, and check it out, it almost already has the shape of a spaceship. Here's a sketch for what the house will look like from the outside, and you can see it's going to be this triangle shape with a big courtyard in the center. And by the way, not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here or anything, but doesn't the shape of this house oddly resemble that little cursor that you used to use on Ouija boards? Just saying. She originally filed the permit to build on this $6.3 million plot of land in December of 2021. Here's the project information and plot plan. Unfortunately, this image is pretty blurry, so we don't get to see all of the details on the project, but the Sun reported the home will have a fountain, a pond, solar panels, 2 elevators, a movie theater, and a sauna. And because of the shape of the house, a lot of the rooms are actually going to be awkwardly shaped as well. Like, check out the master bedroom down here and the office above it. Apparently the holdup here is that Kim was required to get the city all of the information that they needed to basically show that the property was up to code by the end of June of 2023. She never got them that information, so at this point, the permit to build this house has expired. Now, I didn't see the Barbie movie, and I don't plan on it, to be honest, but in honor of the movie, Architectural Digest did a piece on 7 examples of pink architecture from all around the world. Let's check these spots out. First, we've got a place called Palace of the Winds. This is one of the most wild buildings that I have ever seen. It stands 50 feet tall. It was conceived as a honeycomb and is located in Jaipur, India. Next, we've got a place called, I think, La Muralla Roja. This one's in southern Spain. Looks very cool with this staircase and handrail design. Then we have La Maison Rosée in Paris, and you guys, I have actually been to this place. It's pretty crazy seeing it on this list. This one's a little French restaurant that used to be owned by a painter. Next up, we have a place called Five Cats Recreation Mall in Beijing, China. Number 5 is the Cooperative Business Bank in Slovenia. Ro Khoi Parish Church in Vietnam has got almost a cartoon look to it. This one's a Catholic church. And last is the Matisse Museum in Nice, France. Interesting. Jeff Bezos just keeps loading up on luxury real estate. He just picked up a $68 million property on what is known as Billionaire's Bunker in Florida. According to Zillow, the home at this address, which of course will probably be torn down, was 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 9,200 square feet, and is sitting on a 1.84 acre lot. If we get on here to the sales history, you can see that the place was actually never listed for sale, so Jeff must have picked it up off market. I'm not going to share the exact address, but it's a waterfront mansion in a neighborhood called Indian Creek, Florida. This area, like I said, is also known as Billionaire's Bunker because it's got neighbors like Ivanka Trump and Tom Brady who also live here. A source told Business Insider that Bezos is also considering other purchases in the area. An insider actually visited the Billionaire's Bunker just to get a closer look, and they reported it to be heavily guarded and eerily quiet, with not much available other than an exclusive golf club. Sounds kind of like a nightmare to me, but I guess if you're someone like Jeff Bezos, you need your privacy. Before we wrap the video today, I just want to let you guys know about a couple things that I have for all of the first-time homebuyer watchers out there. As I finish up the loose ends on my first-time homebuyer academy, I created a couple of downloadable tools for anybody who's shopping for their first house. The first one is a mortgage document checklist. This checklist will give you an organized list of everything that your bank is going to need to get you pre-approved for a mortgage when you're buying a house. Then I also put together a budget calculator in Excel that helps you figure out how much house you can afford depending on your income and other expenses that you have right now. Both the tools are free. I'll link to them down in the description for anybody out there who's interested. That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys next time.